Hey, Hashem.
24th of January, Rabbi Levitt, Pele Yoetz.
Good morning, Rabbi
Morning.
Levitt.
Good morning. Good morning, Roy.
Morning, Roy.
Morning, how are you, Alan?
Oh, Hashem. Very good. Okay. So, January 24th. All right. So, looks like we're up to page 203. And we have a new section called Halbana, public humiliation. So, this is under Hay. Yeah. So page 203. And well, Mayor is coming in right now. Ezrat Hashem. Okay. So, Alan, are you
Ready?
would you like to start off?
Sure. Public humiliation. The severity of the punishment of public humiliation of publicly humiliating a fellow person, a person losing his portion, in the world to come is well known. And Bava our sages and rabbis declare it's better that a man throw himself into a fiery furnace than publicly humiliate his fellow Jew. Fortunately, many ignorant people who will embroiled in an argument will blaspheme and curse each other, and each one shouts the blemishes of his antagonist, referring to all of the past misdeeds which the other party committed over the years. Not only this, but he also mentions things that are not true about the other person. Granted that this is more severe, from the perspective, he is guilty of slander. However, when he curses him with something that is true, even more serious for a different reason. This is because when he mentions things that are not true, there is not as much humiliation as the wrongdoings that he did commit. The redness of his complexion goes away and becomes white, likening to a murder. The person who commits this act does not repent. He feels that he has done no wrong. He says, so what? I spoke the truth. He's going to take to heart the extreme nature of this wrongdoing. He puts the perspective of the gravity of causing public humiliation to another Jew. There are people who publicly humiliate the fellow Jew unintentionally by speaking about his own character flaws, or ashamed of his own evil ways and benefit. Even though he has no intention of shaming his friend, he is nonetheless guilty of inadvertent humiliation. Therefore, silence is preferred. In the abundance of words, it's impossible to avoid a transgression. However, it is permissible in order to prevent the person from wrongdoing. For example, after one properly reproves a man who violates the Torah and informs him that he properly behaved, yet this individual persists in deviant behavior, it is proper to shame, defame, and publicly humiliate him in order that he abandon his evil path and go in the way of decent people. It sounds preferred, but the last part says if someone's going to do something wrong, it's okay to tell them.
Okay, so I have two Gemoras over here.
Yeah, so I have a question on one of them.
Yeah.
The one
Yes,
from
morning.
Brachot that, hold it. Okay, my camera's off. Sorry about that. The one from
Wow.
Brachot, it says it's better that a man throw himself into a fiery furnace than humiliate his fellow Jew. I thought there were only 3 sins that
Oh,
that
is
you're
it,
that you can't, if your life is at stake, you can't do, but everything else I thought was permitted. So I'm a little not sure about that one statement from Brachot. I
okay.
understand what it's trying to say, but maybe it's not a literal throwing yourself into a furnace.
Okay, so let's look up that Gemora and see what we could see from that Gemora. Brachos 43b.
Okay, I'll be right back. B.
Okay. Here we go.
Which, let's see. Oh yeah, here it is.
Where do you see it?
Well, now I have to go to the
I've forgotten which.
it's like
Oh,
about a
43.
third of the way down. It starts with a segment, the Amar Rab Zutra Bar Tuvia.
Oh,
This is.
we have to have our Chumash, Bereshis too.
Oh boy.
Forgot to tell you. This is based upon the Maisa in Chumash with Tamar and Yehuda.
Oh. Oh yeah, there's an asterisk. It's, let's see, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. On the wide lines, the middle wide lines, it's 18 lines down. There's an asterisk. Amarav Zutra Bar Tuvia, it says in the middle of the line. I have an asterisk.
Where is it? 43.
Do you have an art scroll?
I have
Yes.
Art Scroll, yeah.
What art scroll page is it?
43B2.
Okay, and where on the page? Oh, I see it.
It's-
Right-hand column.
And the right, yeah, it's almost midway down the page. There's an asterisk, the Amarav Zutra Bar Tuvia. That starts it, but then it goes Rabban Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. It says Noach lo la'adam sheyapil atzmo l'to kivshan ha'esh. Throw himself into a fiery furnace. The al yalbim pinei chaveiro b'rabim, than to whiten the face, I guess, shame the face of a fellow in public, Rabim. Oh yeah, and then it goes on about Tamar. Wow.
Okay, so.
Genesis, wow, 38:25.
Amar of Zutra Bartovia Amarav.
Right.
The Amri Law, and some say Amar of Hina Bar Bizna, Amar of Shimon Hasida, the Amri Law, Amar Yochanan Mishum Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. So there's three different a lot of different Tanoim and Amaroyim that are quoting this statement according to various opinions. That's what that means whenever it says Amri Law. There's those that say that this was the ones who said it. So they want to be very careful to correctly quote who it was that says it, and if there's different opinions about who it was that said it, we'll quote all the opinions of that there are. So that's what we did over here. 3 different opinions. Noach lo Adam. It is preferable for a person, she appeal, atzmo, that he should cast himself, l'toch kivshana eish, into a fiery furnace, to be burned. Vial yalbin penei havero verabim, and he should not, as opposed to, so that he should avoid, in other words, so that he should avoid publicly embarrassing his fellow, Chavero, his fellow, yeah. Oh, so that's what they all say. So Mayor wants to know, 1 second here, this seems like we're saying this is one of the, that we have to, we say, Yarg B'al Yabor. The person has to give up his life. Well, it doesn't say that he's, let's just clarify that right there, right now. Does it say that he's chayav to do this?
No.
No, it doesn't say he's chayav.
Doesn't say chayav, okay.
It says Noach. So that's a very interesting way of putting it over here. It's Noach. It's generally you think of Noach as, oh, it's more comfortable, it's more pleasurable, it's more preferable, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So right there we see that the Gemora is not saying that it's a binding obligation. It's not Yaharug B'al Yabo. It's not like the 3 cardinal sins that one's required. There's a mitzvah. He didn't even use that lashon of mitzvah.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't use a
Right.
lashon of chov, that there's a binding obligation. He didn't use either one of those lashonos. They just use a lashon of Noach. Okay, that's number 1. So now, so what is the source for this? The Gemora wants to know. Minolan. Where do you know this from? Says the Gemora. What's the source for this, what you're saying? Minolan. Says the Gemora, Mitamar. We learn this from Tamar, who was the daughter-in-law of Yehuda. Yehuda married off his first son to Tamar, passed away. Then the second son, she gave Tamar to him. He passed away. And by the third time, he said, maybe go back to your father's house and I'll, don't call us, we'll call you. And so she went back to her father's house. And then, the story over here in the Chumash that this is what it says over here. That she was whatever, without getting into the whole details of everything. That's not our point over here, but the Gemora over here at this point quotes the pasuk in Bereshis, Lamed Ches Chaf Hey. You could see it in your in the Chumash. What happened over there? That the Chumash says that after about 3 months, and it was told to Yehuda, your daughter-in-law Tamar. This is what they said about her. Your daughter-in-law Tamar, Zansa Tamar, Kalasecha. She has done znus. V'gam hinei hara l'znunim. She has become pregnant as a result of this znus that she was guilty of. And what was Yehuda's response to this? Yomer Yehuda, Hotziua v'sisaref. She should be taken out, and she should be she should have misa sreifa. Why misa sreifa? Why should she have the misa of sreifa? So Rashi over here says, the Tisarei, Amar Ephraim, Miksha Mishum Rabbi Meir, Bito Shel Shem Haisa, Shehu Kohen. Who was Tamar? What was her yichus, her genealogy? She was the daughter. Not sure if she was the daughter, maybe she was the granddaughter of Shem. She was the daughter, that's what Rashi says. She was a direct descendant of Shem. And Shem, we know, was a Cohen.
How do we know Shem was Cohen?
How we know that Shem was a Cohen? Because when Avram Avinu fought the war, and he came back after the war, so it says that Malchi Tzedek came out and gave him. Where's this pasuk? Let's take a look over here. In the war of the 4 and the 5 kings, Here we go. It's also in Bereshis, Yud Daled, Pasuk Yud Ches, 14, chapter 14, verse 18. Malki Tzedek, Melech Shalem. Hotzi Lechem V'Yain. V'hu Kohen. V'el Elyon. So Malki Tzedek, he brought out bread and wine, and the pasuk says clearly that he was a Kohen. Now, who is this Malki Tzedek? So Rashi over here identifies Malki Tzedek. He brings a Midrash Agada, who Shem ben Noach. He was none other than Shem, the son of Noach. So Tamar, in our Rashi, says that that she was Bito Shel Shem, Haisa Shehu Kohen. And so therefore, Rashi says, Tanua B'Sreifa. Therefore, they judged her to be put to death by Sreifa, Misa Sreifa. And you'll ask, where do we know that a Bas Cohen who's guilty of znus, where do we know that she's Chayav Sreifa? That's a pasuk. Don't remember where it is offhand, but let's see. Now the question over here would be that that she wasn't really married at that point, Tamar.
Right.
Right? She didn't have a husband, so it wasn't really the prohibition of Eshes Ish.
Right.
So that needs some examination on that needs some examination, but
Yeah, so the pasuk in Vayikra is just talking about adultery, though. And this wasn't considered adultery, right?
right, that's what I'm right.
So in English, it says, if the daughter of a Kohen will be desecrated through adultery, she desecrates her father, she shall be consumed by fire.
That's a pasuk in where's that pasuk?
It's in Emor. It's chapter 21, pasuk 9 in
Okay, very good. In Parsha Semar, okay, the
Yeah.
Parsha of the Kohanim. Right. So this is
Isn't a woman who is awaiting Yibum considered to be married?
well, she needs chalitza, in other words.
Right.
She's zokuk to the yavam. She's not really free to just go out and marry anybody she wants. But if she would do so, it's not strictly speaking. It's not an isser of Eishes Ish. It's not adultery.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just trying to remember there's even, I believe, it could be, if you take a look at Rashi over there in Vayikra, if you have Rashi in Vayikra, it could be, if I remember correctly, Rashi brings an opinion that pasuk, there's a subject, there's a machlekes, I think a machlekes tanoim, whether that woman over there, the Bas Cohen, is Penuya or she's Nesua.
What's Penuya?
Penuya means she's from the word panoi, she's available. She's not married.
Ah,
Let's see. You gotta get it. Oh, okay. I remembered Rashi says something about a Penuya, but I didn't remember exactly correctly. Okay, so this okay, in any case, Rashi says Kiseichel is nos, Bas Cohen, Bas Ish Cohen, Kiseichel is nos, Es Aviha, Hi Machaleles, Es Avia Hi Machaleles. She's desecrating her father, Be'esh Tisarev. So Rashi says over here, Kusha Tis Chaleel al Yedei Znus. She's desecrating him through this snus, this immorality that she engaged in. Shahaisa ba zikas baal. Vizinsa. Oh, mina erusin. Oh, mina nasuin. So it says over here that she was zakuk to the Baal, and she was mezana. What does it mean that she was zakuk to the Baal? Don't think that it means, oh, she was a yavama. She was a shomeris. She was a shomeris. Her husband passed away, and she's now zakuk to the yavam. No, Rashi doesn't say that he was a yavam. He says he was a Baal. Oh, mina erisin. Oh, mina nesuin. Whether she was just engaged, which of course in halacha, an arusa is not really like we understand to be just engaged. The way we understand engaged means engaged to be married, but she's not really married at all. There has been an agreement, and they've announced that they plan to get married, but they haven't actually haven't gone through any formal steps of becoming married. But the erisin means that she's really an Eishes Ish. That's the first stage of marriage, and but she's really an Eishes Ish. She's absolutely off limits to any man, and if she is with a man other than her orus, then she is chayv misa. Over here, the chiddush is, I believe, that with and then further, Rashi points out Rabboseinu, our rabbis in the Gemora in Sanhedrin, nechliku b'davar. They have a machlokes in regard to whether this woman is an arusa or she's an asua. Is she in the first stage of marriage, or she's already completed the second stage of marriage? She's fully married. But everyone over there in the Gemora is in agreement that the pasuk is absolutely not talking about a woman who is a pnuya, who is not married at all, not an arusa, not an asua, nothing. Everybody is in agreement that is not what this pasuk that says that she's be'esh tisaref, that she should be have misa sreifa. It's not talking about a woman who is not married at all. So that is so at this point, Tamar is not an arusa, nor is she an asua. The most that we could say about her that she is zakuk, she's a shomeres yavam, shomeres yavama. She's waiting for the yavam to do yibam, and that she's not allowed to marry anybody else or at this point. She's ushered to everybody else, but it's not the same severity as an arusa or an asua. So what the reason was why they paskined on Tamar that she was to be burned is still needs some explanation, really.
Okay.
Okay. So in any case, that's where we are at this point. And so what happened over here? The pasuk in the Chumash continues, pasuk Chaf Hey. That's our pasuk that our Gemora is now quoting as the source for the statement that it says it's preferable for a person to throw himself into a fiery furnace than to publicly humiliate a fellow Jew. So now the pasuk says, "V'hu mutzeis," she was being taken out to the Beis HaSreifa to be executed. V'hi sholcha el chamia, and she sent word to her father-in-law. Yehuda was her father-in-law. Lemor, to saying like this: Leish asher ele lo anochi hara. What did she say? To the ish that these belong to anochi hara. I am pregnant. Batoimer, and she said, Hakir na, please do me a favor, and Hakir, recognize Lemi Hachosemes V'Hapsilim V'Hamate Ha'ele. Recognize, please. Who's the recognize this Hosemet, this You know what a chosemet is? Is a from the word chotem,
Oh, to
a,
seal? The
a
close?
seal,
Yeah,
right?
seal.
A seal. I think it's the seal that you have a. They would have a right. Yehuda gave her 3 things. This goes back to the pasuk when they were speaking about the fee. And what did it say over there? You in pasuk Yud Ches, Yehuda said, "Vayomer." He said, "Ma ha'eravon asher etein loch." What should I give you? V'tomer chosamcha upsilecha umatcha asher biyodecha. So she said, "Give me your chosem, give me your psila, give me your mate, give me your what do we say chosem means again? Your seal,
Seal.
your psil, whatever that means, some type of clothing, I think. Umate, and your stick, your staff that's in your hand." And he gave it to her. That was what he gave. That was not actually the payment, but it was the pasuk says that it was a eravon. It was a security to secure the payment. I think he was supposed to give. Yeah, we see later on in pasuk chaf. What did he actually send? Or in look in pasuk Tez Zion. It says she said, "Mati tainli, ki tavo elai." What will you give me for this that you're going to be with me? Vayomer anochi ashalach gedi izim minatzon. I'm going to give you goats from the flock. And then but he didn't have it in his right. He doesn't walk around with the goats, walking around in the street with the goats. So where's the how is he promising to give her goats? So she wants to have a pledge for that. She wants some type of a security deposit. So that's what she asked him. She said, "V'tomer im titein eravon ad shalchecha." It's fine, but first, before we do this, you got to give me some type of a eravon. You got to give me some type of a pledge as security to secure your promise that you're going to give me the gedi izim. But the payment was the goats, not these 3 articles. But these were the 3 articles that she had in her hand that he did have, that he gave to her at that time. And so then it says in the pasuk that v'yavo eleha v'tahar lo. So he had relations with her, and she became pregnant. Okay. So then later on, the pasuk says that she got up and went on her way. She went back presumably to her father's house, and Yehuda, he wanted to know where to send the goats to. So he was looking around for where to send. Anyway, so this was the story over here. So at this point, she's being brought out to be executed, and she sends a message to Yehuda to say, "Look, go. Can you recognize who these 3 things? Do you recognize what they are?" And then Yehuda, v'yakir Yehuda, v'yomer tzadka. Yehuda did recognize them, He corroborated the situation, and he said, Sadka, she's right. Mimeni. This that she was expecting is from me. Yalkein loy nesatiha, Shela b'ni v'lo Yosaf od ladato. I did not give her to my son, and that was that. So
Wow.
so here Rashi in Chumash. Rashi brings in Chumash in Pasuk Chaf Hey. V'hi sholcha el chamia. She sent to her father-in-law. Lo yiratzta lahalbin panav. She did not want to literally to make his face white, meaning to cause him embarrassment. She could have said explicitly, she could have said, what are you doing to me over here? You're the one who did this to me. You're the one who made me expecting. She didn't want to publicly embarrass him like that, even though that would have saved her life if they would have believed her. But it seemed to be the only alternative that she had to saving her own life. But she chose not to do that. What did she do? Ella, what did she say? She didn't want to accuse him. Rather, what did she do? Le'ish asher ela loy. Rashi brings the words of the pasuk. She sent to him the one by the man who's the owner of these. Amra, she said to herself like this: Im yodeh me'atzmo, if he's going to admit himself, right, without me accusing him, yodeh, so he'll do so. Let him do so. V'im lav, and what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't want to admit? That's quite an admission to make, right? You're gonna rely on him admitting in public that he had relations with this woman? That's what you're relying on him to admit? I think there'll be very, very few people that would publicly admit to such a thing like this. But in any case, that was the way she wanted it. Bim lav, and if he doesn't admit, yisrafuni, so they'll burn me. That was her cheshbon. So where did she know to do a thing like this? Why did she do like that? Why did she not defend herself? Why did she not defend herself? So Mikan Amru, from here, the Chazal say, Noach lo Adam. She appeal atzmo lekivshana esh be'al yalbin penei chavero barabim. That's our Gemora. So the strongest exhortation that she thought appropriate to say was that she said, "Haker no, please." Like I'm begging you. Really, I'm save me by recognizing who these things belong to. Okay.
Very good.
So, oh, and look what Rashi says further over here. Rashi says, Hakir no. Ein no ela lashon bakasha, right? The word no is a request.
Please, right?
Hakir no boracha. What is he supposed to recognize over here? So Rashi says that she's asking him, recognize your creator. Recognize the one who created you. Be'al ta'abed sholosh nefashos. And do not destroy 3 nefashos. Who's 3 nefashos? What 3 nefashos would he be destroying? I only count 1. Tamar. Who's the other 2?
Which one she's gonna have?
Oh, because we know the end of the story is that Tamar gave birth to Teres and Zorach. So even though they're not yet born, but that's referred to as ibud. Don't cause them to be lost from the world by not allowing them to come into the world. And so then Yehuda, what did Yehuda say? He said Sodka. Rashi says b'davroeha. She's correct in what she says. Mimeni. It is. What did he mean like that? It's from me. Himu Beres. Yehuda admitted that she is pregnant, and he knows who the one who caused her to be pregnant. That he admitted that it was himself. That was Yehuda. So therefore, Rashi now brings from further from the Chazal. Rabbi Seinu Zechonu Livrocha Darshu, Yoetz Baskol. The rabbis derive over here that a Baskol came out, Va'amru, and said, Imeni umi'iti Yotzu Hadvorim. Wow. It sounds like the Baskol is saying in the name of Hashem that Hashem is saying, Mimeni, from me, umi'iti, and from me, a double lashon. Yotzu hadvarim. All these, this whole episode came about. This whole episode came about, says Hashem, from me. What does he mean by that? Lefisha haisa tsenua, bebeis chamia. Since Tamar herself was so tsenua, she was very modest in the house of her father-in-law. Gezarti sheyetzu mimena malachim. I decreed that there should come out from her kings. She's the line that the kings are coming out from. Gezarti lahamid malachim beYisrael. From Shevet Yehuda. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like the real reason why the Malchus Yehuda is Yehuda is not because of Yehuda, it's because of Tamar. How is it that kings are going to come out from Tamar? Because we're going to have to make Yehuda the king, because he's the one that made her pregnant, and that she's now bringing forth kings into the world. If we don't say that Yehuda is the king, so how is Tamar going to bring out kings into the world? But the reason why she's bringing king is not because she is sort of like a buying in to Shevet Yehuda like this, to be part of Yehuda, and therefore she's going to get to have kings come out from her. The whole reason why Yehuda is the king is because of Tamar. How do you like that?
Wow.
11:30.
11:30. Okay, so I don't know if we answered Mayor's question, but
No, you did very thoroughly too, I think. I
okay.
appreciate it. I didn't mean to divert the class so much, but it's very interesting.
Not a diversion at all. That's the story. That's the story behind the story. Okay.
Yes, it is.
All the best.
Okay, have a good day.
Shoyach.
Hey,
Great
Maria.
question.
Hey, Mayor, have a good day.
That's
Bye, Mayor. Have a good day. Suras Tovos.
Amen.
We'll be
Thank you.
back.
Okay.
40.
We up this afternoon?
Yes, I saw your email. Thank you for including me.
Yeah, I didn't go yesterday. It was starting to rain and it was very cold and windy. So,
Right.
I was getting ready to go. I had my sweater on and Joan said, no, it's too windy.
Yeah, it was pretty miserable yesterday.
So I didn't go.
I'll be right back.
Okay, but he, thanked us for coming.
Morning, Phil.
Good morning.
Okay.
I have to listen for the, supposed to have a delivery that has waiting for them to come. They're of course late. They're supposed to come by 11, but you know what it's like. So if I have to leave to run out to the door, you'll know.
Okay. Stay there. Okay, so we did start this new sugya, Kanas Usha. Yeah. All right, so we want to know. Yeah, we got two brises over here. The Gemora wanted to say that the Kanas Usha is a machlokes tanoim, meaning what does it mean that whether we go by Takana Susha, I guess. Gemora brought two brises that argue with one another. One says the Isha, we got a Eved Kanani, and the Isha brought it as Niksei Malug into the marriage. And the first brise says that if the Isha knocks out his eye or tooth, then the Eved goes free, but not the husband. But the next price says not the husband and not the Isha either. Nobody, the Eved doesn't go free like that. And what did the Gemora say? The Gemora said, according to everybody, Kinyan Paris Lavka Kinyan Guf Dummy. So the fact that the husband has a Kinyan Paris in the Eved Kanani does not mean that he has tantamount to a Kinyan Guf. And so therefore he would not be, sounds like the Kinyan Guf is what makes that the person is the Adon on the Eved, and therefore if the Adon knocks out his tooth, the Eved would go free. But since we don't say that, so he's not. And so Makim Mefligi, what are they arguing about? Manda Amar Leisha, isolate the Kanas Usha. The one that says that the Isha does send him out when she knocks his tooth out. That's the brisa that does not. They don't hold from Takanas Usha. And the other Manda Omar that says that also the Isha cannot send him out. Not the husband, not the Isha either. That's the brisa that holds from Takanas Usha. Okay. So that's what we said so far yesterday. Oh, and then we had we were wondering what's the idea that neither one of them can send them out. We would have thought to say if we say Takanas Usha and the husband has we were malim his shibud, we made his shibud, his hold on the acquisition of the Eved stronger. He's not simply a Kinyan Paris, but he's a Kinyan Paris plus. And Rashi said, Kinyan aguf. It makes his Kinyan in the Eved comparable in a sense to Kinyan aguf, to having the ownership in the goof of the Eved, similar to the Isha. So the according to the Gemora, so neither one of them now will have the ability to send the Eved free. In that case, so Lou wanted to know why we would have thought to say if both of them have a Kinyan goof in the Eved, let both of them have the ability to send them free. why does that Brisa say neither one of them? So that's what we were dealing with yesterday before we ended. And so apparently we have to say that we'll have to see how it. Then we talked about partners. What will we say about partners? If people were partners in an Eved Kanani, would either one of them have the ability to send him free without the other one? So if they both sent him free, so maybe he'd be able to go free. But if only one of them sent him free, maybe not, because that one partner, he doesn't have the full kinyan aguf in the Eved, because the other partner also has a kinyan aguf in the Eved, and so therefore, since neither one of them has a full kinyan aguf in the Eved is not completely acquired to any one person. So when either one of them knocks out his tooth, it wouldn't send him free. Okay. So anyway, that's the Gemora suggestion. Let's say that we explain these two brises, that they got a machlokes about Tekanas Usha. First brise that says no, it doesn't go with Tekanas Usha, and the second brise that goes with Tekanas Usha, and that accounts for the difference in the dinim of the brises. So we are up to where the Gemora says lo. Nikuli alma islahu Tekanas Usha. So this can be found. This word lo is the last word on the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines up from the bottom of Pei Tes Amid Base.
B4, top of the page.
Okay. So Roy, would you like to take over the reading?
Lo. I mean, yes, at mine. No, there are other possible explanations. Tuchule olamo eis lahu takana katanas usha. It may be that everyone subscribes to the enactment of usha. Ela can condemn takana. Only here, the Tana of the first brisa refers to the period before the enactment. Kain la'achar takana, whereas here, the Tana of the second brisa refers to the time after the enactment. Do you want me to go on, or do you want to
Yeah, let's do the Rashi over here for a minute. In other words, what the Gemara is going to be doing over here is going to be presenting a whole bunch of different views of how we could explain these two brises and why it is that they argue with one another. And even though they argue, it doesn't mean that they necessarily argue about the enactment of Usha, though. Like the Gemara originally wanted to maintain when the Gemara said Lema, let's say that the Tekanas Usha, whether it was accepted, I guess, by all of Klal Yisrael. That's the subject of Machlokes Tanoim. Okay, so we got Rashi Dibra Maskil Kodem Takona. This is the last Rashi on the page. Who wants to read this Rashi? Who you want to read this Rashi?
Yes. Kodem Kana. Hayu she avoda kil sha'ar kinin perus dakim lan delav kanin haguf dami. Okay, so kodem tikane, that is before the decree. That is before the decree of Usha, meaning the decree is not yet in effect. Ayu she avodah, is that at the work is considered like the decree. I'm sorry, the ownership of the produce. That the keys. I don't know what the keys is.
The Kimlan.
Kimlan, established.
Kimlan, it's established to us.
The Kimlan.
I'm gonna go downstairs and
Established to us. Delav kinyan haguf dami. That it's not like the ownership of the goof, that the ownership of the produce is not like the ownership of the body. So he's saying that before the decree of Usha, the decree was not in effect, and therefore the husband's ownership was a partial ownership. The husband's ownership did not count. It wasn't considered to be like the ownership of the goof. But I'm not sure what this she'avodasa kil means.
Okay. So that word is the word shibud.
Oh, shibud, trying to remember what shibud is now. Shibud, it's not partnership, it's the obligation.
Yeah, we had a difficult time explaining exactly what I said it's his it's his hold on the property in question. In other words, like this: what's the hold that the husband has on this Eved Kanani? The sum total of his hold is that he's got a Kinyan Peros. He's got the right to receive the Peros from this Eved during the marriage. So that's the extent of his Kinyan, and therefore, so Rashi says Have Shibudei Kayo. Therefore, Rashi says, now the difference between the word shibudei and shibud is just the noun, the hold, and shibudei is his hold, his control and hold on the Eved, based upon his ownership rights, and the Eved is kayo. It is light. It's a light hold that he has. Have shibude kayo. Kishar kinyan aguf. Rather, kishar kinyan peros. Like any other kinyan peros in an object. Before Tekanas Usha, the kinyan, the ownership rights that the husband has in this Eved are like any other kinyan peros that there are in the world. And that is what Rashi describes as the shibudei kail. His hold, his control over the Eved is relatively light. He doesn't have such a hold. The kimlan, because it's established to us, the lav kikinin aguf dami, because we are now going with the halacha that kinyan aperis is not tantamount to kinyan aguf. So this that he has a kinyan peros in the Eved, it means that he has no kinyan guf in the Eved whatsoever. And so therefore,
What's his to do with the fact that it's before the decree of Usha?
Oh, because what happened with the decree of Usha? Rashi told us in the previous Rashi that the kana of Usha was alim shibude. The last few words of the previous Rashi describes that what happened with the enactment of Usha is that Chazal strengthened and fortified Ali Shibude, the control of the husband on the property of the wife that the wife brought into the marriage, Lemahave, to make it regarded as kinyan aguf, that it's regarded that he has a kinyan aguf, something akin to a kinyan aguf in the Eved. So like that, his kinyan in the Eved is a kinyan aguf, which is similar to the kinyan that the Isha has. She also has kinyan aguf. So like that.
So all he's telling us is that so that's not true.
So before Tekanas Usha, there was no strengthening of the hold and control that the husband has in the Eved. All he has is a mere acquisition of the right to receive the profits that the Eved generates, just like any other owner of the right to receive perus in the world. And the established halacha is, Rashi said, that kinyan aperis is lav kinyan aguf. We paskin like Reb Shlokish against Reb Yochanan that kinyan aperis is kinyan aguf, is not kinyan aguf.
So therefore, according to anybody who is operating under the presumption that the case is before Usha, the husband would not have any power to cause the slave to go free.
Well, even, right, we have to remember, even after Tekanas Usha, we're in the other brisa where we say it's talking after Tekanas Usha. The din over there is neither one of them have the ability to send the Eved free by themselves. What we're just saying is, is that in the first brisa, the wife has the exclusive kinyan aguf in the Eved. She's the sole owner of the Eved, and the husband just has a mere right to receive the profits, but it's not regarded as a kinyan aguf in the Eved whatsoever. So therefore, in that case, the Isha would be able to send him free by herself. and that's the first brisa, and we're saying, oh, that's before the Takanas Usha was enacted. That's why she has such a power. She has a exclusive kinyan aguf in the Eved. But after Takanas Usha, they gave the husband also. They strengthened his control over the Eved, and he has also some type of a kinyan aguf in the Eved, and therefore that would prevent the Ish that would prevent the Isha from having the exclusive kinyan that she needs in order to be able to have the ability to send the Eved free.
And the reason that prevents her is based on the analogy of the partnership. We say that one partner cannot act without the agreement of the other.
Yeah.
So in this case, it's not a matter of a voluntary action. It's a matter of a halachic requirement that when he knocks out, her husband knocks out the tooth, the halacha says that the slave has to go free. So we're likening that to the husband telling the slave to go free and saying he can't do that, he doesn't have the authority. But it's not his choice in this case. So that would seem to be making a different analysis.
Well, in other words, there's basically two ways that the Eved could go free. He could go free if the one who owns his kinyan aguf that he's acquired to that person writes him a shtar shichrur, a document of emancipation that he's free. He has the ability to send him out, and he goes out like that. Or this halacha that we're talking about over here in the brisa, that if that same person who would have the ability to send him free, if he knocked out his eye or tooth, then he also goes out. But only that person that would have the ability to write him a document of emancipation would it be that if he knocked out his eye or tooth, that he would actually go free. But if somebody who doesn't have the ability to write him a document of emancipation to go free because he doesn't own the Eved, so then it's just like any Joe on the street would knock out his eye or his tooth. He's not going to go free. He's not going to go free that Eved. It's a halacha exclusive to the one who owns the Eved, has undisputed ownership of the Eved. Has complete, we would say, complete ownership of the Eved.
Okay, so now you're saying just as in the case of where Usha is in the husband and wife are like partners, and just as with partners, both of them have to write the document or sign the document, so too, both of them would have to knock out his eye or his tooth.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Okay. So that, in other words,
if it's a partnership and the wife knocks out the tooth, isn't it just like also the husband knocked out the tooth if he didn't, since it's a partnership?
I would understand it as though one partner wrote the Eved a shtar shichrur. If one partner writes him a document of emancipation, is the Eved free?
No.
No. So too, if only one partner would knock out the tooth, the Eved doesn't go free.
There's no difference between those two that the knocking out of the tooth can be compared to writing a star?
Well, the point is like this. Two partners, if they both of them have a kinyan aguf in the Eved, so we understand that only if only one partner wrote a document to the Eved to set him free, that the Eved wouldn't be free, because he only acquired his freedom from one partner. What about the what about the ownership of the other partner?
Mhm.
He didn't release his control over the Eved, so the Eved would not go free in such a case.
Right.
So too, if we take those two partners and we say that one of the partners knocked out his eye or tooth, so what that really means is that it's comparable to if only one partner wrote him a document, but the other partner didn't.
All right.
So therefore that would explain why in that case, after Usha has been enacted, that the Brisa says that if either one of them would knock out the tooth, the Eved would not go free, not the husband and not the wife either.
So both of them would have to.
Yeah. So if they both were holding the stick, so I don't know what to say. Maybe that's an interesting question. So that would be like they both signed on the Shtar Shikra. Maybe so, but that's the basic idea.
What's the star? The star for freedom is what the star. What's it called? A star.
Shikhrur. Shikhrur is emancipation.
Shikra.
Shin Reish Reish.
Shin. Reish. What?
Shin Reish. Well, the three letters shorish is Shin Reish Reish. Actually not. Shin Ches Reish.
Shin.
Then you have
Yes.
Shin Ches Reish Vav Reish. We're going to see that word in the Gemora very soon. At the top of the next Amud, Ezrat Hashem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Shin, Ches, Reish, Vav, Reish.
Right. Okay, so now we have two interpretations how to explain the dispute between these two brises. And now the Gemora is going to go on to and the point is that the second interpretation is basically saying you don't need to say that they're arguing about whether there was a Tekanas Usha or not altogether. You could say that everyone agrees that there was a Tekanas Usha and it was effective, but but this Bryce is talking before the Tekanas Usha was enacted, and the second Bryce is talking about where after it was enacted. Therefore, we've dispelled the assertion of the Gemora that that we must say that Tekanas Usha is a Machlokes Tanoim. Not necessarily. We don't have to. We're not forced to say that. Okay. Okay. Now the Gemora goes on to another Ibois Ema. Who would like to read another Ibois Ema? Let's see. Alan, you want to read for us?
This is which page now?
This is 89B. It's the bottom of the page.
89B4.
Second alternative?
Yes.
Okay, second alternative. But aim, the S, amor, we prefer, if you prefer say, ed, were a hor, menor, both synonym, refer to the period after the enactment, that is, or he, name, sure, and both subscribe to the enactment of Usha. Ella was ma'ain, the Mar was isha, below the ish, mine, tamor. Then what is the reason? And the one who says that the slave goes free for an injury inflicted by, but not by the husband. Cheated more because this time
Oh boy.
important Bava. The Amor Bava said.
Hooray!
Hey! Wow! That's Shikoya.
He said, that's a day.
That's on the base.
Throw it all down.
Wow. We have to make a siyum.
Take a day shall chomor, chometz, but the shift rur, chi'in, day shivor, consecration, chometz, and emancipation, release an item from a lien. Wife's action, which emancipates the slave, therefore removes the husband's lien upon him.
That's tricky.
Okay, now we have a big subject over here. The subject of the statement, the famous statement of Rava. This is a very famous statement of Rava that is mentioned many places in the Gemora. So here's an opportunity to learn a very famous statement that appears many places in the Gemora, and see what it has to do with our two brises over here. So here's the third answer. Here's the third explanation of how it is that these two brises disagree with one another. And remember, what's the disagreement between these two brises? The first brisa says, Lo le'ish, aval le'isha. The man doesn't have the ability to send him free, but the woman does have the ability to send him free through knocking out his tooth or eye. That's what we're talking about over here. But the second brisa says Lola ish v'lola isha. The second brisa says not only the husband does not, but even the wife also does not have any ability to send him free through knocking out his tooth. Those are the two brises. So we're saying as follows. We're saying that these two brises are both in agreement. Idi v'idi la'achar takana. V'islahu takanas usha. They both agree that to the enactment of usha, and they both are talking about where a case which was after the enactment of usha. So usha is in operation over here. So now, according to that, according to what we know so far, if we're talking about the enactment of usha impacting upon these two brises, really we should say that the husband will have a kinyan aguf, which is akin to the wives, and if so neither one of them would be able to send the Eved out by themselves. So we want to know why it is that, in other words, the brisa that says neither one of them can send them out, send the Eved out, that brisa we understand. But the other brisa that says still, even though the husband has this kinyan aguf, still the wife, if she knocks out his tooth, she's going to be able to send him free. That we don't understand. Why should that be? Why should that be? So that's where Rava comes in over here. On that, the Gemora said, El lamanda omar, leisha v'lo leish, my timer. According to the author of the brisa that says that the isha who knocks out the tooth will send him free, v'lo leish, but not the husband who knocks out his tooth. He won't send him free. My timer. What is the reason for that? Meaning, what's the reason why the isha still has the ability to send him free like that? Because if they both have a kinyan aguf, so neither one of them should be able to send them free by themselves. So on that, the Gemora says, Kidder Rava, the explanation of this brisa that says the isha has the ability to send him free by knocking out the tooth goes according to Rava. What does Rava have to do with this? This is Rava's famous statement, Amar Rava. Rava said that three things are going to break a shibud, a hold that somebody has on the property, and the property will not be subject to the hold. And there's three different cases over here. Hektish, chametz, v'shikror. Okay, so now we're gonna have to go through all of these cases. The case that really concerns us is the third case. The other two cases are not really relevant to our Gemora, to the Bryce, but if we understand how all the three cases work, I guess we'll be able to understand better how it does relate, the third case, to our case over here. Okay, so now we've got long Rashis that Rashi goes to great lengths to explain what's doing in these three cases. Because our Gemora here doesn't explain what's going on at all. So Rashi is going to be helping us over here to understand these three cases that Rav is talking about. So, who's interested in reading Rashi?
Let's start with Rashi 1.
Okay.
Hektish case. also shoro futiki labal chova. Okay, so someone is making, he's making his shore. Now, this word afatiki is really is like it's like an apotropos thing. It's like a guardian. It's like something for the payment of a debt. So he's making this his ox somehow being able to pay the debt. The ox is like held mishubad to pay a debt.
So it's like a security.
Yeah, like a security, like collateral type of thing. But then he changes his mind. And then after he made it, then he changed his mind about it. Goes back on his word.
The Baal Chova is the creditor.
To a creditor, to a Baal Chov, to a Baal Chovo, to the master, his creditors, the person who he owes money to his creditor, and he's making his thing is sort of like the collateral, and then he goes back, and then it says. Okay, lava zeh. Oh, the chazal lava zeh. He goes back on this loan. Chazal lava zeh on that loan. Lava is the
borrower.
The borrower. Okay, so the borrower goes back on it. The higdishu. Now he's made it. He's made this the shore of his hektish. Kedushat hagof lemizbeach, that he's made hektish the body of the animal to go on the mizbeach. Afikeya, that's to pay off. Shibudeha, to pay off his loan, his obligation. The malva, to the lender.
If Q means havka, it uproots and undoes the shibud, the hold, the control that the malva, the lender, has on this animal.
The lender has now, and now it's in the mutar lemizbeach, and it can go. He is allowed to offer it up. It's permissible to go on the mizbeach. It's like he can go back on it once he's hektish this. You can still go to the mizbeach. You can't say it's got to go to the lender. No, it now goes to the mizbeach. That ox.
Can you say again what hefki is?
Hefkia, it uproots and undoes the shibude, the malva, the control that the lender has on this animal. Here we could say simply that the shibud is a lien. He's got a lien that he's entitled to take for his payment from the borrower, this animal, if the borrower doesn't pay. That's called the shibud that he has on that animal.
Art scroll here says, Rava refers to a special type of mortgage known as a apotiki, so that's which is property designated by a debtor for collection in case he's unable to pay for his obligation, and refers you to 11b, note 29.
Ah, okay.
And Rava rules that even an item designated as an apotiki does not yet belong to the creditor. And it goes further. But,
I think our time is up.
Okay, very good.
Take care.
All the best.
Be well.
Everybody have a good day.
all right. Notice them shoes tomorrow. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay, we'll see you at 4.